Today. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a great day today. It's Supersonic here, back again with another video. And welcome to a review on Titanfall 2. Now, before we get into this review, I kind of want to explain where I kind of lie in the relevance of Titanfall, that is. So, before we get into this review, I'm going to say where I started. I started out with Apex Legends. And I decided to pick up Titanfall after I heard it was basically made by the same developers of Apex and had most of the same guns in Apex, besides with a couple differences. And the movement was insane. That's all I heard. And I decided to pick it up, and I'd say my experience has been awesome. And I totally recommend that you pick it up. But we're also going to kind of explain on why I think that this game is a hidden gem, and why you probably have never heard of this game before, but you've heard of Apex. But before we get into why this is a hidden gem, in my opinion, we need to basically go over my review. So the first thing I want to start off with, well, before we even start off this, make sure to hit that like button, to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I do upload. And yes, the gameplay you are seeing in the background is Titanfall 2. So yeah, but we're gonna start off with the story. Now, I'm not gonna go into like much detail of it. I'm just gonna say it was fantastic. The characters were actually really memorable. It's basically kind of like Apex Predators versus, I forget what your team's name. I think it's like you're a pilot basically. You're basically a soldier turned pilot, and pilots are the guys that control the Titans. And yes, there's Titans in this game. There's robo giant suits called Titans, and they actually have their own sentience and actually can protect the pilot and all that. Yeah, but basically, you're a soldier turned pilot, and the story is fantastic. Again, I'm not going to go into spoilers, because I actually want y'all to... Well, I kind of did go into a little bit of spoilers, but basically, the basic term is that you're a pilot... You're a normal soldier turned pilot in the middle of a war. That's basically all I'm going to say over it. But overall, the campaign was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the characters. I've really attached to some of them, especially your main character, because he doesn't know anything. Well, he knows what all he's told, which is just... basically, just go with what the Titan says, and then just go with what your people are telling you. So yeah, but the story is just the first part. The main thing I want to go over is the multiplayer. The multiplayer, I'd say, is one of the best multiplayers I think I've ever played. Basically, think of Apex and Halo, but on steroids. You're basically a fucking super soldier and can zip and zoom around the map. As you can probably see by my gameplay, you literally can go super quick. And it's amazing. And all the guns, most of the guns are from Apex. So if you come to Apex, if you're coming from Apex to Titanfall, like I have, you're basically going to be kind of set with some of the guns, because they're very familiar, but also very different. So it's basically an upgraded version of the guns in Apex. So like the R99, which is the gun I'm using now, basically has 40 bullets, and combined with the movement can be devastating. Along with other guns, such as the R201, and all the gun names are different. So like the R99 is the R97, so yeah. So if you ever see a different name, don't get confused. It's the same gun, but it has a different name. But again, the main thing about this is the movement. The movement is insane. You have a double jump and a wall jump, which seems normal at first, but when you combine it with both abilities, like my character, which is like the speedy dude, which is like Octane, and you combine that with this, you can go insane speeds. And you can actually see it by the gameplay I'm showing you right now. You can basically go anywhere. Well, not anywhere, because you still have boundaries, because, you know, you gotta have boundaries, because you can't just fucking go out of the map. But you basically can literally go. You literally have tons of movement. That's all I'm trying to say. The movement in this game is probably the best part about it. Oh, and combining that with guns that are vaguely familiar, of guns that I've already played with, you're basically going to be probably pretty good out the get-go. If you've played Apex at all, or just want to get into shooters. If you're really good at shooters, you're going to love this. Basically, if you love shooters, you're going to love this, because it's basically probably your favorite shooter, but just with movement that is so smooth. And guns that are they're so good, dude. But this isn't my favorite thing. This is my favorite shooter of all time. Doom is still my favorite. Why? Because the campaign is, sure, it was memorable, but it was also really short. I beat it in about 3 days. Yes, I did beat Doom in 2 days, but the reason I beat Doom faster than I did, because I spent more time with Doom. But I beat the campaign in about 3 days, and I did it in shorter spurts than I did with Doom, but it was a lot shorter than Doom, so it was a lot shorter than Doom is. And another thing is, because the game doesn't have many players, you're going to be sitting in queue times. I think the longest it had to say about like 5 to 6 minutes. Yeah, which is pretty long queue times for a multiplayer match. But overall, that's like my only flaws with the game. And overall, I've had, well, some of the maps are kind of lackluster, but I feel like that's just my opinion, and I feel like I'll get used to some of the maps that I don't like. But why is this game not loved? If from what I'm saying, you'd think this would be like amazing, right? You think this would be one of the best games ever. But why don't you hear much about it besides from Apex? Well, because it kind of came out at a bad time. You see, in 2016, it came out, I think, I might have to recheck, but it came out in November. And it was in November 2016, sandwiched between two big games. Battlefield 1 and a Call of Duty game. And most people either bought Call of Duty or they bought Battlefield, and most people didn't buy it. So it came out at a very bad time, and I gotta admit, another flaw with the game is kind of the Titans. I love the Titans, but I also just kind of, which I'm not playing the Titan mode as I'm recording this, but I do like the Titans in multiplayer, but I kind of just think that the game is better off without them in the multiplayer. That is. So, like, basically, the Titans I'd say kind of ruin it. But they're not, like, overly bad. I just like the game more without it. But, yeah. But, honestly, if you have not picked up this game yet, I'd say give it a shot. In my opinion, it's really, really good, and in my opinion, it's a hidden gem, and I really think that you should play it. But anyways, I'm gonna end this video here. If you do like this video, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I do upload. And I will see y'all in the next video.